And I know we're in an election season. I ain't talking about any government or
This is
any.
why I did not wear a yellow shirt, Kenny. I actually had a yellow shirt. I can give you a little story here. I actually had on a yellow top. I said, okay,
Mhm.
I'm just going to wear a yellow top and thing. Then I'm being told, in this era, did you not see what happened to the other young person? And then I'm seeing videos, of Johnny LeBon and various other people, my friends, Rajan Montut, and all these people who were being targeted because of what they wear or what they say or something like that. But yeah, so I just didn't wear my yellow shirt, but I'll be wearing my yellow shirt in the next episode, definitely.
Oh my gosh, man! Why? Why are
Or
people?
red or whatever color, right? Whether it be red, yellow, whatever color. I'm gonna wear my clothes. It's my clothes, okay? Just saying. She was.
Listen, man. I have this chapter in George Road. So I wrote this short book called George Road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this chapter which is actually based on a real story, but I'm not going to say the details of the real story because I don't want to be targeted, like you say. I don't want to become a target.
I'll be finding out.
But so I just point out in the chapter how ridiculous it is when people get behind these party lines. It's one thing to be loyal to a certain party or a certain philosophy or something, but don't
Right.
let it blind you to the facts. Don't let it blind you to actual concrete policy and direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I
Yes,
find,
definitely.
yeah, man, and I find especially in the Caribbean, we often get caught on very surface level, preschool level politics where, oh, stop our football, just
Right. And being
ridiculous.
upset with people over that.
Oh my gosh, man.
We
And when you
we
ask,
we play color politics.
yeah, I'm going to start getting worked up. So anyway,
Yeah,
let me,
let's move away from the whole political thing. You were saying about we're close we're close to an election or something, yeah.
right. So yeah, aside from the election, yeah, and all that stuff, what would you
Mhm.
say that Caribbean governments have done right and what have they done wrong when it comes
Hmm.
to youth in the Caribbean?
Hmm. Very good question. I would say what we've not done right is when it comes to our policies. And let's zone in on national youth policies, for example. And typical example, St. Lucia. We are yet to have an established youth policy. Recently, I think in 2016, we drafted a new policy by Ms. Eversley was a consultant in that. And it was recently tabled to Parliament, from what I was told. Cabinet, it went through Cabinet, but it was rejected. Um, I think the National Youth Council did come out and ask questions with regards to that. Yet, I've not, well, from my information, I've not seen or heard anything as it relates to a response to the National Youth Council as to why the policy was rejected and grant. So you need, if you're rejecting something, like they're saying, you need to be able to identify what parts, what's wrong. Let's go back, correct it, make the necessary adjustments, and propose it again. But last I was told, there was no feedback. So in just establishing a national youth policy for the individual countries, I think that is a necessity because that's where it all begins. If you don't have a national youth policy, you're basically having all these organizations and youth councils just operating a bit blindly, sort of,
Right.
without that document. You can't do much. In addition to that, I would hope that these councils, these organizations are actually getting the financial support that they need to carry out a lot of the programs that are necessary, such as a lot of the social programs for our youth. If we want to actually have positive youth development, and if we mean it when we say we want the youth to be successful, we want them to be resilient, we need to be able to support those programs. And it's not just talking, and saying, I support this. You need to put your money where your mouth is, basically. So there needs to be that level of financial support. Um, so just that, yeah. So we need to have established national policies, and we need to have financial support, basically subventions to the councils. What have they done right? I think the governments have, to some degree, recognized that youth have power, and I will touch on just briefly, especially when it comes to politics. So we're going back to that.
Right.
So yeah, they've in recent years, I'm seeing they've recognized that the youth have power when it comes to politics. Because if you look at throughout the region, the trend with youth votes, it's happening in Guyana, it's happening in other countries, and it's happening in St. Lucia. Because last election, I think we had a larger youth turnout in voters. So they are recognizing that, and I think as it relates to whether they're being heard, I don't know. Because in as much as we've had more youth engagement and youth inclusion, having a seat at the table does not necessarily mean you're being taken seriously, right? So I think that's where we stand when it comes to Caribbean governments, what they're doing right and what they're doing not doing so right. Yeah, there's a lot to be done though, apart from not just allowing us to be seated on boards and different meetings, but to actually take us seriously and hear our voice. We have the power, but for some reason it's just there's a gap between recognizing that power and actually being taken seriously. Yeah.